Jamie, she has a Jamie Lynn grandchild.
Yeah.
She knows, we told her.
You haven't showed her the pictures.
I will show you the pictures in a minute. And 1, 2, 3, smile. And 4. So, Daddy, how about Ita? Grandma at home?
Imagine Jamie Lynn, Agnes.
On the count, but I thought you were going to stay.
I love you too. Very much, and I miss you, and I want you to come to Costa Rica so you can stay with me and have a good time, both of you. All 4 of them. How's that?
Depends on your mom.
No, depends on your mom.
So I don't know what. So, I say, well, I don't want to.
Get closer, Kevin. She won't bite you.
And what do you do?
Oh, she's having a ball. Are you having a ball? Oh, I hope you don't rock me right away.
Kevin's rocking it.
$16.
Oh, that's pretty.
And these are usually 30. This.
Yeah, very good.
Oh my
You ought to put it to do it every
Put it
day.
to work first.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Look at Daddy. Look at Daddy in the camera there. Say, hi, Yvonne. How are you?
Hi, Daddy.
I'm sorry I can't see. This records? Oh, I'm sorry I can't stay, but you know what? I'm going to show Joe. Anyway, I will come back again and see.
Why is he so jealous?
What'd you say?
Listen to her. Because he's jealous.
He doesn't like you staying in the super.
Anywhere. I was going to stay up to till Monday. No, till Sunday evening. But the
She was
flight-
going to Costa Rica with me.
I was gonna go to Costa Rica with Mamacita. I couldn't make it, but I want you to go to Costa Rica, Yvonne. You will love it. You gotta go with Clifford and Milty and all the kids. You will have a great time.
They got a robot in the box.
Oh, how
That would be nice as a nightcap.
Oh my God.
You see the box?
Qué linda que es.
You see the robot?
She's cute. I love her. Okay. Now the sleeves. You're gonna do the sleeves all by yourself here.
Yeah, she's going to burn it for you.
No, she won't. She's good at it. Oh, but your hand. Yes. Yeah, never close to the there. And one more here. Don't lift the iron. Just leave it down. And the other sleeve. Wow, look at her. She is good,
Good
Mom.
at it, look.
Oh, look at her. The other one. Boy, this is
Now, when Jamie Lynn grows up and gets married, her dad is going to show her a picture of her ironing. And her husband is going to say, how come you won't iron my shirts?
That's
You-
right.
When you were 7 years old, then you were ironing.
There, and here, and here, here. And I love to see Yvonne. That's too bad that I cannot stay.
What do you do to wash them?
Washing clothes or washing?
I wear some clothes right now. I'm washing a bunch of buddy shoes from soccer.
Oh,
Please,
Now you can wear.
surgery on Friday, and she got mine on Saturday. And he left her. He didn't die. And they can have oranges, avocados, lemons.
What part of California do you?
It's in the valley.
Do I
About
wear
where I
sandals?
live.
Right here.
But I know it's those big old
You've known her a long time. Is it going to where I can get? Okay, now you can start my
Yeah.
family history. Okay, tell me about Grandma again.
Grandma's name was Bertha Tomlinson.
Right now, Kevin, I'm gonna study.
And she
Kevin,
came from a little
time
town.
to
In
study.
England, not exactly England.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's like, say, Britain.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Like you'd say Jamaica or
Yeah.
Port, Spanish Port, not Spanish Port, Montego Bay. That's where she came from.
No, we need the blackboard.
And then grandfather, he was born in New York, of course, my dad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, he was Irish, but he was born in New York.
Okay.
And
Thomas
his mother's, his
McGinnis.
father's name was Thomas Patrick McGinnis, just like himself.
Okay.
And his mother's name was Bridget Cunningham.
And
He had two brothers. You could put that if you want.
yeah.
He had two brothers, one by the name of John and the other one by the name of Jim. Of course, they were McGinnis. My mom, I didn't know her kids are all but brother. She had one sister and one brother. I don't know their names.
So really, they didn't have as big a family as we did, huh?
Oh, no.
And do you know whatever happened to Grandma's sisters and brothers?
No, I know her sister died in Port Lamont, and I know her brother died in Port Lamont.
Well, they
And my grandmother, they're all buried where Papacito's buried. They're in that same tomb. Of course, there's only bones or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But they were.
Well, did the whole family settle? Grandma's whole family came to Costa Rica and settled?
Well, her whole family, like say her mother, her brother, and her sister. That was it. That was her family on her side. Then on grandfather's side, there was his two brothers, Jim and John. And John was married to Mary. Jim was a widower, so I don't know who he was married to.
Where did they settle?
Oh, they settled in New York. They lived in New York. And your grandfather had come to Costa Rica 60 years before. And that's where he settled, in Costa Rica. Port Lamont, Costa Rica. And he worked for the United Fruit Company many years. And he had...
Same as Daddy, huh?
Oh, yeah. And he had a big tailor shop, you know, with a lot of men working for him, you know, and he had a big, it was like tailor, he had tailors working for him because he was a tailor. And your Uncle John was a tailor and your Uncle Frank was a tailor also.
Oh.
You know, I haven't heard a thing from Mary, my sister-in-law that lived in Maryland.
Oh.
Never heard from her.
You know, do you ever hear from Uncle Jay?
Never.
Never.
Never anymore.
He did remarry, didn't he?
We tried to get him on the phone. And Sonny tried to get him, you know. And his number is private. So Sonny even called up the neighbor. Because Sonny lived there, and of course he knew them all. And he talked to him. He said, "I'm Sonny. Hi, Sonny. How are you?" And they spoke back and forth. And we'd like to get a hold of Jay. She said, "Well, his number is private. But anyway, I'll try to get it for you." So he went over. She called back. Sonny spoke to her. She called back to say that she tried to get the number, but he said, I don't know if it was he or his wife said that they weren't giving the number to anyone. So she explained, but it's Sonny that called. Your nephew. Oh, she said, we're not giving our number to anybody. So that means he doesn't want to have anything to do with the family.
Yeah, maybe he didn't even get the message. She might have just intercepted.
She might have been. It might have been her.
It might have been her. You never know.
Yeah, it could have been her because she pulled him apart from all the family. I mean, because he used to send Christmas cards and all that. We never got any more cards, nothing.
Now, Grandpa and Grandma had 6 of you all, didn't you?
No, it was 8 of us.
8?
Of course it was 8 of us.
I was thinking there was 6.
There was Walter, Tommy, Johnny. There was then myself, because we had one by the name of Eileen. She died when she was months or maybe a year or something like that. Then that's me.
I didn't know all that.
That's 5. That's me. Then there was Frank. Then there was Septimus, Jim, Lucille. There was 9 of us. There was 9 of us.
Well, you know, Daddy always told me that Seth was adopted. Uncle Seth was adopted.
We didn't have a doctor in the family.
Adopted.
Oh, no, none of my brothers were adopted.
Where did he get that? That's what Daddy told me.
Never, we didn't have. Oh, no, you mean Oscar. Oscar was adopted.
Now,
You
he
see,
told
my
me
grandmother, my grandmother raised a girl by the name of Dolores. My grandmother raised her. When my grandmother died, she passed over. And she married and had a son by the name of Oscar Brenes. So my mom raised him. That's where maybe your
That's
dad.
where Daddy got confused, I
Yeah,
guess.
Oscar Brennan, because your daddy met Oscar.
Now, how old were you when you met Daddy?
I was 18 years old. Well, you can.
Yeah.
I married him in 26.
Now, let
And
me
I was
tell you
born at
something
8.
else Daddy told me that I wondered. Did you lose a child before me?
My first baby.
A boy?
We didn't know what it was
Oh.
because I wasn't even 2 months pregnant.
Now, he told me that, if I remember right, because I was young then, that you were in an earthquake or something? And the
No,
tree
I was in the house and he was working. Upstairs house. We lived upstairs, you know. The United Company paid for our house because they didn't have any houses in the zone where the all Americans lived. They didn't have any houses available. So we had a nice house and they paid for it and everything. And then I was in the house by myself and we had a terrible earthquake. I was going to throw myself out the window. I mean, it was terrible. And he came around, and I mean, he didn't last 5 minutes, he ran in the house. But at the next day, they had to take him to the hospital. That's when I lost the baby.
Did it throw you like around, the earthquake, or what? It threw you?
It was terrible. It shook. I mean, it was something awful. The place cracked. And all
How
that.
far along were you?
I don't remember how long the earthquake lasted. That was in 19...
No, I mean pregnancy.
Oh, I wasn't... I don't think I was about 2 months. And that was a boy. And they didn't tell... I don't know what it was, but they didn't tell me I'd lost a baby because I got married in May. And I think that happened in February. June, July, August. Something like that. And then I was all excited about having a baby. So the doctor said, let's not say anything to her. Don't let her know she lost the baby. But I noticed that I wasn't getting any fatter and my stomach wasn't increasing. So they took me to the doctor and the doctor said, finally, he said, listen, you lost your baby. Well, I almost died. But now you are pregnant again. That's when they decided to tell me I was pregnant. I think that was February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. That must have been in January. Now you're pregnant again. So that's when I had you in 1927. And
That's what happened with me with Yvette. I lost the baby, but I got pregnant right away.
yeah.
So in other words, I wouldn't have had Yvette if I'd had the baby.
oh, I wouldn't have had you
Yeah.
either if I had the baby because that was a few months afterwards. And then after that, well, that's all. I didn't do that. I didn't have any more. And you were, let me see. You out.
Till you had else.
Elsie, well, I had
Yeah,
Elsie in May. May the 7th of May. 8th.
Tell me the girls' birthdays on the camera. I mean, all of them birthdays.
Well, Elsie was born on the 7th of May. Jenny was born on the 15th of February. She just had her 54th birthday. Elsie is going on her 56th birthday. So that was 54. Then let me see, Sonny is 52. Then here comes Yvette.
What is his birthday?
He was born on the 5th of November. And Yvette is 50. She was born on the 17th of October. Then here comes Yvette. Then here comes Agnes, born on the 18th of September. She is 48. And there's Walter. He was born on the 27th of November. Now he's 45. 45 going on 46.
Golly.
That's all.
When I was in Costa Rica, he was 4 years old.
Yeah, can you imagine?
He's just a little old thing.
Yeah, he was so cute.
Coy always reminded me a lot of him as a little boy, you know, but not as a grown
What did I
man.
do with those pictures?
What did,
I hope Agnes didn't take them with her.
well,
Let me see. On my 80th birthday, they had a party for me. They were going to have a big party. You were supposed to come over,
I know.
and
I couldn't.
you couldn't.
do
But
it.
they didn't have a big party because I had they had a nice little party. I don't know what did Agnes do with my pictures. I had them out last night, didn't I?
We looked at last night.
She didn't take
No, she couldn't have taken them home.
Did,
I'll find them eventually.
yeah.
I was going to show you the pictures of Walter and
Let's see, what else can I ask her about my family?
What do you
Told
do?
me about Daddy. She told me about Grandpa, and she told me about
Grandpa
Grandma.
lived until he was almost 89. He was in bed for 1 year and 3 months. Grandma, she died. She went to bed. She was saying her rosary, and she just burst it into, and she just went to sleep. She burst her artery here.
Oh.
Yes, she had a massive, like, Tio Jimmy.
They both died of heart attacks. Huh?
Well, your grandfather was 1 year and 3 months in a bed when he fell down, you know, and he was in and out of hospital, and I had him take care of him for a year and 3 months. He wouldn't get up and walk. He broke his hip, and he had a pain in his hip.
Leave her alone. She's all right.
That was that. But grandmother just went to lay down and just passed out. She died. And he died. Let me see, she died in 52, he died in 58. He was okay until 1956. But he fell down and broke his hip. Just naturally gave up. He'd keep on with his bookstore, you know, he'd all carry the books, but he refused to get out of bed. I couldn't get him out of bed. I had a wheelchair for him, take him outside, get him to his son. I had crutches. He said, I'm not using those things. So I just took care of him until he died. And after Tio Jimmy died, about the same way. Uncle Jimmy was big and fat, you know, he weighed like 200 pounds and his pressure was way up. But he wouldn't take care of himself. He just had those eye implants, you know, done, and he couldn't, I think about it, he could hold in this chair, he was so big and so fat, you know. So Bertha said they went to bed that night. He usually sat up late watching cable, you know, on television. And both of them just lived by themselves, they had a nice little home. And he said to her, I'm going to go to bed about 10:30, but he didn't say he was feeling sick or anything. So she said, they went to bed, and she said, Jimmy, when you wake up, wake me, she said, wake me at 5. So he said to her, why do you want me to wake you at 5 so early? She said, well, we have some stands that they have every Saturday where they sell fruits and vegetables and meats and all that, you know. So the farmers bring in their stuff to sell. And the people in Costa Rica, they go to those things, like Yvette goes, and I'm the one, I don't go, just for maybe a colonia or two less. I'm not going to get myself involved. So she used to go to that to pick up vegetables, you know, something like that. And she said, she'd wake me up at 5. He says, where are you going? She said, well, I'm going to the feria, we call it in Spanish. So he said, okay. They went to bed. She said she dawdled around, got in bed. She went off to sleep. She said she woke up at about 4 o'clock. And there he was. She said he usually slept on his side, but he was like this. And she said, she touched him. She didn't hear him moving or anything. Jimmy, Jimmy. He was gone, so she called the doctor. The doctor came in. He had died at 3 in the morning. He had a massive heart attack. And he was so huge he couldn't even
See, Debbie, it looks like most of our family on both sides have heart trouble.
Yeah, he just expired. And I'd seen him about 2 weeks before. He used to love to have me over. Because with Lucille, he was very indifferent. In fact, they didn't get along. Just,
How does Aunt Lucille?
oh, she's gorgeous. You ought to see her for a pet. It's too bad I didn't.
I wish I could have seen her. I
You
just
couldn't.
wish she could have come with you. This one.
Well, she flew to Costa Rica on Wednesday. But she is.
Does she still live on the other side of Costa Rica?
She has a nice little condominium in San Jose, or San Carlos. Just go through it. The
Oh,
girls
she's
live-
back in San Jose.
She has her condominium. She's had it for years. Carlos bought her a nice little condominium. But he is pension. He has money here in the bank here in New Orleans. He gets his check and he puts it here. But they called him back to the company to do some electrical work for 2 years. So he's making good salary. He gets everything. He got a beautiful home, beautiful 3-bedroom house on the side, on Panama side. They call it Puerto Armuelles. That's where he is now. And they come in once a month. She stays 3-4 days because she's a doctor bug. She loves to go to doctors. She's always going to doctors. And she figures that I ought to be going all the time. I said, no. You ought to have your pressure taken. You ought to have your cholesterol. I said, oh, listen.
Is she thin?
No, she was very, very bloated. But that wasn't fatness. The doctor says she was a time bomb or a thyroid or something. She was supposed to be very sick. It's a good thing she goes to so many doctors, because if not, maybe she'd be dead by now. And he started giving her stuff, Then her face got full of blotches. She lost her hair, a lot of her hair. So they started giving her medication. But now she had weight of 170 pounds, something like that. Now she weighs about 100, and she weighs a little bit more. I weigh 140, she weighs a little bit more than I do. But she's very, very active. I mean, she's on the go all the time, just like that. She goes here, she goes there. She loves to visit.
What about her children? They all...
Well, Lorraine is getting separated from her husband after all these years. She has a son 18, she has one, I don't know, she has one going in 19, she has one 17, and she has a little girl 13. But herself, he's a Colombian, and her husband are separated. Then there's Bertha, which never had children. She is very beautiful. She's been separated from her husband. And then Patricia is married to, they were here on the 17th, they were here for a whole week. And she has a girl by the name of Patsy, she has a boy by the name of Carlos Alberto, Mario Alberto. And she has another boy. She has 3 children. But she has arthritis. Sometimes she's okay. Sometimes she can't stand up. She's like this, And she's a young girl. And very nice. Very active. So and then she has Robbie. Robbie is her baby. He got married. He has 2 children. And his wife had a little girl before they got married. They live in Golfito. But you can say that Carlos takes care of him, because Robbie is not supposed to be very sickly. I don't know what's wrong with him, because he looks just like Corey. He's handsome, he has big blue eyes, but I don't know really what's wrong with him.
What about Jenny? Is she still in Lima?
Oh, Jenny's in Venezuela now. Jenny left for Venezuela.
Did she come to the wedding?
Jenny was at the wedding. Yeah. She spent Christmas with me, and on the 21st of December, she traveled to LA. And she was here, and then she was here for her birthday, which was the 15th of February. And she traveled on the 24th of February. She traveled to Venezuela. And she had a grandson on the 25th of February.
Leave her alone, Dwayne. She's not hurting a thing.
And the baby is in intensive care. He's been since the 25th, since he was born. His lung didn't develop. And they have in a machine, I don't know the name of the machine. So he's in very delicate condition. So, and after 8 years, because her little girl is 8 years old, and now they have a baby boy, and then he's not. The doctor has a lot of hopes. Doctors fly from, she's in a small place by the name of Puerto Ordaz, and he's an chemical engineer. So the company sends doctors from Caracas. Every 2-3 days they come to see the baby, And they took him out of the machine last week, but he didn't respond. His respiration didn't respond yet. So I guess he'll be there about it. The doctor says he is delicate, very delicate. But they're not losing hopes. They're not saying that he's going to die or something. You know, you never can tell what's going to go. So he's about 2 weeks old now. Suppose, yeah, he was born on the 25th of February. So we hope that he'll get through. Where Jenny lives and her son, Alberto, he lives in Port Lamont. And Lovelia lives here in LA. She has 2 boys, one by the name of Ricardo, and the baby's name is Micah. Cute little, he's 4 years old.
Well, see, when I was in California, she had Ricardo. Is that his name?
Ricardo.
Yeah. How old is he now?
He's 12.
I knew he had to be up there because he was the cutest little thing. Cause
yeah, but the baby is much cuter, very pretty. I haven't got any pictures.
I remember he was still in the stroller.
Oh yeah.
We went to Disney World, I guess, Disneyland. Which one is up there? Disneyland. I get Disney World and Disneyland
mixed up, yeah.
And there's so much of it. Have you been to the Disney World?
Oh, I've been so many.
No, I mean, not Disneyland, Disney World. In Florida.
Never been in Miami.
Debbie and them have.
I think once you've seen one, you've seen everything.
They're about the same, I imagine. And, Disneyland might be a little bigger, I don't know.
Disney World is very huge.
Disney World's twice as big. Got a big cop center in there. Yeah.
Oh. Heather, did you show your grandma your pretty heart on your hand? Huh?
Let me see that.
Heather, go show her your hand. Go show her the heart on your hand.
Let me see.
Go show grandma
Come
the heart
on,
on your
baby.
Ita, go show Ita your heart.
She's prettier than her picture. I have
show
a
her
picture
your pretty
of her.
heart. Go show it
We
to
don't
her.
have any big
No, she was 6 months old.
Say, see? See? Her pretty heart?
Oh.
Can you dance?
Okay. Heather.
Can you dance?
Oh,
Dance.
yes, she can.
Get her to sing Zacchaeus.
She is
Colleen,
such a sweet baby.
help her with
You
it.
want to sing Zacchaeus?
Let Clifford record her doing it.
Let's do it. Be happy and you know it. Happy tap. Come here. Let's do it. Shine. Okay, you ready? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. You're not going to do it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, say amen.
She had it all, you know, that crinky look, you know, that wet look.
Perm.
She had a perm, but it's down to here. Then it's that wet look all over. When I saw her at the airport the night I came in, it was, I don't know, it was 11:30 Costa Rica time, but I know it was 1:30 here in LA. And when I got in, oh, I was so tired. That trip was so... I mean, I left Costa Rica about 4:30 in the afternoon, didn't get in here until 1 something.
That might be my boys or Yvette, one or the other.
Yeah.
Yvette should be here at 11 o'clock, so it's probably...
Yeah. She didn't take...
She's always 2 hours.
She didn't say 11 morning or 11
Who is
evening.
that? There's Annie Wet.
Hey!
Right on time.
Am I? 2 hours. Right.
Better late than never, though, huh?
This is...
There's
Yvette,
Annie
I
Wet.
can't
Ask her
believe
where
it.
Mark's
That's
at.
Yvette.
Heather, ask her where Mark's at.
Yvette,
where is
I can't
Mark?
believe it's you. You look so different from the last time I saw you.
Ask her
I'm
where's
gonna
Mark.
listen before I forget. There was a girl from Costa Rica, Daddy's cousin,
Was.
visited Baton Rouge.
Daddy put a bump
So
on
she
his
said somebody that works in a bank. But I don't know his name. She remember. And she said he came over and he said, she was talking about the family, and she said, I have a cousin by the name of Mon Coblins. So he turned around and he said, well, there's a Coblins, some relative to Coblins working here in the bank. And she said, well, I'd like to know her. And they called her, went over to your apartment, and you were not home. She spent one day in Baton Rouge. Her name is, it was some cousin of hers that lives in Baton Rouge. He works in a bank, she said.
And he probably works with me.
He probably does, because he said, I know a girl, she has Coblins, some Coblins in her family, and I know that she works here. So her name is Maruja. She's married to, her husband's name is Guillermo Rojas Molina. So this guy was cousin to her husband. And she said she said, I was so disappointed I couldn't get to meet her.
I wonder who that is.
I don't know. You look prettier than the last time I saw you.
Oh, thank you.
Her hair was down, her hair was beautiful. My hair is a disaster area.
Your hair's always been pretty.
Oh, no.
I've always wanted Snow White hair like Mamacita, and never. I guess I'll be like that.
Lucille had white hair.
Does she?
She used to dye her hair. She always did.
Oh, I always thought hers was different.
And then afterwards her hair got white after she got so sick, that I told her she was sitting on a farm. She weighed about 180 pounds. But that wasn't her weight. It was just her thyroid. She had thyroid trouble. After that now, when she got with medication, she started to lose her hair a little bit, She hasn't got much hair. And then her hair turned, and my daughter-in-law, Yvonne, has a beauty salon. So she started to give her some vaccines, to put in her hair and all that. And her hair came back, but it came out black. Isn't that funny? Came out black. That's very nice.
You should find out what it is.
So you have been, how's your boyfriend?
Fine. Didn't Mom tell you that he's moving to California?
No. She hasn't had time to. We've been talking
You just got here too?
No, well, I got here early, but we've been talking about, I wanted her to give me a family history.
Did
You
you
know,
use
really
the
I
history?
walked in the middle of it.
No, she pretty well got it all, her Mamacita.
Yeah, we talked about Graham.
What I'd like to know, put on tape, is what was life like in Costa Rica back in about 1930 or something?
But I remember. You forget I'm 80 now.
You got a terrific memory.
Oh yeah, not lately. Yeah, I have a very good memory. I can remember all my kids' birthdays and some of my
What you mean, like when she was growing up as a child?
Well,
Yeah, she was growing up as a child, what was
But I
it?
wasn't there in 1930. I wasn't there because she was born in 27. And then I came and lived in New Orleans for 5 years. Remember that?
Oh,
Now you see, I didn't know that. I thought
I lived with
you-
Aunt Emma. I came up here to visit when you were a top.
How long were y'all married when you came up here?
Well, let me see. In 27, I had you, September. So in 1928, you were not a year old, but you were walking over. I had you on the boat. We came over on the steamer. I had to have a little strap around you, because you were about, you were almost 9 months, and you walked all over the place.
Now, Daddy said I was 7.
Huh?
Daddy said I was 7.
You walked before you were 8, I think, months old.
That's
You
what he
were
told
very,
me.
very small. So I had to be very careful.
See, she was 8 months and 1 day
When she walked?
when she
Daddy.
walked. She never crawled. Did I crawl?
I don't remember. I don't think you crawled. I just think you got up and walked.
That's what she did.
So after that, when I came up here, then I stayed here. He went back to Costa Rica and came back. He left the company, United Fruit Company. He resigned. And he came back. And I stayed with Aunt Emma all that time, quite a few months. After that, we got our little house in Carondelet. got a little duplex. I had a nice little house there. And I don't remember if you was 5 years old when we went back to Costa Rica. And you were there for a year and a half. And then you came over here. And when you were 19, you went down there again, Costa Rica. So,
That was
in
a
19
trip of my life.
Huh?
That was a trip of my life.
So yeah, so when in 19.
One day I want to come back and see Costa Rica. I really do.
But you
I
don't-
thought
you-
that was the most beautiful place.
Agnes says, "Oh, Mom, why can't she come?" And Freddie, she wanted to see you because Freddie can give you the ticket to go any place in the United States. You can even go to Europe. He can give you a ticket to Hawaii, but he cannot give you a ticket to Costa Rica because American Airlines don't fly down to Costa Rica.
Oh, I see.
And they have no connections like this way. Why do you think I'm here? I flew, I bought my ticket. The kids all got together and said, "Mom, we want you to come for the wedding." I said, "Well, I won't say that I haven't got the money to go to the wedding. It's not that I have a lot of money or anything like that, but I have a little money in the bank. But if I'm going to take out 40,000 colones, which is what this trip costs, 40,000 colones out of the bank, then if I get sick or anything like that, I want to have money for a rainy day." I'm very methodic. I carry my own checks. I don't ask anybody to do anything. In fact, my kids said I'm too proud. It's not proud. It's just the idea that I don't like to bother anybody. I never ask them for anything. I just don't like to ask them for anything. So I said to them, so I traveled from Costa Rica to Los Angeles. And that trip cost me, well, it's on the ticket there, I don't know how much. Then, if I had gone back that way, my ticket would have cost me $800. You see? But this way, it only cost me $500. And you can travel from New Orleans to Costa Rica by Laxon for $290. See? So I had to take the trip
You got it real?
American Airlines from there to Los Angeles right here. And that way I didn't have to pay. Any place in the United States, he can give you a ticket. You can, like she told Clifford last night, she said, I can give her a ticket to go to Europe if she wants. I can give her a ticket to go to Hawaii if she wants. But I cannot give her a ticket. American Airlines has no connections with Costa Rica. It doesn't travel down to Costa Rica. So that's the only way. So that's why I had to. I don't know why. And I was reading that
And it's cheaper to go from New Orleans to Costa Rica than it is from California, of course, huh?
Of course. It's $800 from California to Costa Rica back and forth. And it's only $290. Even to Miami is cheaper. Miami is cheaper. I mean, it's about the same. About
It's $290 one way?
No, back and forth.
Oh.
That's what I have my ticket. That's what my ticket cost.
Wesley said he's saving his money to come down there.
Oh, I wish